Alright, this is Doug. I finally put a face to the sound of my voice. I'm Train Buff 1985, and one of the things I'm going to talk to you today about is weathering your trains. Some of the videos that you saw here before, they're going to be just before this one, detailed some of the things that I did. This is the Dash 9, and you can see where I painted it with a rail brown color. Then I took some of this weathering powder and I just gave it a little bit of a dusting. I left the rest of this kind of with a little bit of a grime, but as you can see, if I wanted to, I can take a little bit of this powder and I can just lay a little bit on here like that, and it'll give it a little bit of a rust-worn look. You want to really blend it in good. I took my paintbrush and I just basically cut it to a stub. That gives me a little bit more coarse of a brush to work with, especially when you're trying to get into a rough look. Lighter brushes don't quite give that look. So there's what it looks like with a little bit of that. And I'm going to show you how to weather a coupler. This is just a regular coupler, black. Now what I did was I'll take my rail brown, and I use the Floquil brand. They have some really nice paint. This isn't an acrylic. This is actually more of a regular paint. It has petroleum distillates in it. So make sure you use it in a well ventilated area. So I'll take my coupler and I just give it this coating of paint. Give it a nice coating of paint. And again, I'm using a truck just so you can, if you want to practice in some of your older stuff, you can do that. So you take your coupler and you get it painted. Put a little bit on there so that it's got a little bit of a coating, so it's a little wet, like such. And then you go back to your blunt brush, dip it in some of this rust while it's wet, even if it's just a little bit semi-dry, but you want it to be wet so that whenever you start to lay the rust on the coupler, it will blend in with the paint and give it a real natural rust look, just like that. Now when you first look at it, it's a little bit kind of still brownish looking. So then I'll just take another dab of that rust, and then you can pretty much give it as much aging as you want. And that will give you a nice natural look. One of the things you're going to want to do though at the end is make sure that if you do happen to get any paint or anything in between the crevices where the joints are at, where the hinges are at, especially down here like on this Dash 9, you may want to put just a little dab of some lubricant in there to make sure that those don't stick. In this case, you would just have to just pull your uncoupler and make sure that it's not stuck. And that's how you rust and weather a coupler. Thanks for watching. Wait for my next video. Roll on, trains.